And now we've got what we call an occupancy gap. This is where our occupancy, physically, our units are filling up, but because of the discounts and the promos, we might end up, let's say, 80% physically full. Whether that's square footage or number of units, doesn't really matter. But we're 80% full, but we might only be collecting 60% of our scheduled rent. Meaning if these 80 units were rented out, we should get X. We might only be getting 75% of that number because of all the discounts we gave. And that's okay. As we proceed, our focus shifts from physical occupancy to financial occupancy or revenue. And this is where we do a lot of rate management stuff. Another point I want to make is it's not inefficiency 1, finish line, start inefficiency 2, finish line, start inefficiency 3, finish line. There is overlap between all of these. So you start one, you get the ball rolling. Usually the work required is up front, and then there's a residual, the momentum carries forward, and it continues to improve without you needing to extend more of yourself into the process. Once the process is up and running, you move to the next thing, insert your energy into that, get that process up and running, and these things stack upon each other as you go. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense, hopefully? A little bit, here and there? I've said I like to get that number to between 5 and 8%. I think 5% you're doing good, a gap. So meaning if you're 100% full, which you shouldn't be, by the way, let's say you're 90% full, but your economic is 86, I think you're doing pretty good. Some might go, well, why don't you just push until you've gotten to a gap of 0? Well, because that means you've stalled out on the rate management side of street rates, right? So we'll dive in a little bit here into rate management, but there's two components of it. We've got our existing customers, and then we've got our street rates, which are the rates that new customers come. And we should always have continuous upward pressure on our street rates. We're gonna raise those street rates until we've gone too far. Mistake number 1 that I've made several times, as you do it more, you get more confident and you don't make it. Don't pretend that your competitors' rates are the market rates. Even if they're a fancy facility that looks brand new and beautiful, if they don't have the right systems, if they're doing it as a secondary business, which a lot of them are, they just picked the rates that the other competitors were charging. Nobody's putting upward pressure. You can drive the whole market up. So we're always going to have continuous upward pressure on the street rates, and we're always trying to get our existing customers to catch back up through every 6-month raises. There's ways that this can be automated. Most of the softwares have some version of this. Some of it's more robust. ESS has a version of it. I think StoreEdge's version is considerably better. You pay for it, but they have it set up such that take any individual unit, a 10 by 10. If it's less than 50%, if you have less than 50% of those rented, the rate is X. When you get to 60% rented, it goes to X plus $4. When you get to 70% rented, it goes to X plus $4, and it just keeps going up. I've seen situations where Public Storage, one of the big REITs, owned a facility on West Henrietta Road and East Henrietta Road. Same company. Now, they could have been independently operated, right? But same company, same size unit, $65 and $145 for a 5 by 10 non-climate controlled. Their last unit is literally triple the price of the ones when they've got a bunch of them available, and they don't care.